Greetings! I am OmnusI, here in my lair, and I am here again for another round of the questions of the RPGaDay variety, courtesy of the Facebook group, the RPG Brigade. These questions are designed to uplift and grow the gaming community, so we can, talk about this hobby that we love. And for the first time, I'm opening it up to the Facebook page of the creator of this site, Rob Gustafson, so that his friends and family can also get a taste of what he enjoys so much about this crazy hobby that he's spent so much time in. There are 31 questions, one for each day of August. This being the 1st of August, we will do the first question. And it goes, what do you love about RPGs? RPGs being role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, and there's a lot of them. And I've had the privilege of sampling a great number of them, but there are some universals among role-playing games that I enjoy. I could go on and on and on with this, but I'm going to aim for a certain amount of brevity. First of all, I love the social aspect. I love being able to have an excuse to get together with my friends every week. We all sacrifice the time to make that time together, to get together and play these games, which is fantastic. The only other experience I've had similar to that was when I was in a softball league, and quite honestly, can't do that through the winter. Also, my relative lack of physical skills doesn't hinder me here. As a matter of fact, since I've spent so much time building up my creative muscle, I can really excel at this kind of thing. And another thing that I love about role-playing games, it's a cerebral mental exercise, the kind of which as an adult you don't get very often. These days, everything is spoon-fed to you. You play a video game, you're doing someone else's work. TV bombards you with so many ideas and things that aren't your own. In a role-playing game, you adapt and react and create solely out of things of your own imagination, but also borrowing from everything that you experience. It's a fascinating exercise, really. Only writers and to a certain extent actors really get that kind of creative opportunity these days. It's something that's a vanishing experience for a lot of adults. I have made many of my friends through role-playing games. No secret that in my wedding party, everybody who was there was in a game of mine at one point or another. My best friend I met through role-playing at a very dark time when I was in high school. Didn't have a lot of friends, but role-playing games really brought me out. Taught me social skills, and the jumping into another person's perspective can certainly help a person to adapt to others' viewpoints. Another thing I love about role-playing games is I love the challenge. When you are playing a game, it is your character versus the world in some cases. You are trying to advance and excel and master your craft and profession, and you do this consistently against the challenges of the world. There is very little real-life equivalence to this. It is something that you just can't do in modern day, is excel in such a way that a role-playing game allows you to do. It also there's a sense of accomplishment in crafting a character and watching them improve and being able to take on greater and greater things. Also, in the world of your mind, it allows you to change the world that you are playing in many ways, in such a fashion that we, as the tiny little people that walk the face of the earth, can't seem to do, or at least very few of us can. In role-playing games, you can be the hero. You can be the person who saves the world, or breaks it, really. I also enjoy the sense of getting into a role. Those of you who knew me outside of this channel or this game, I am an actor. I have spent time on stage and very much enjoyed it. When I'm in a character, I, for a little while, am that character. I become them. I think of their goals and their needs and their wants and portray them through what is said and done in that character. I find it liberating, and doing it for the entertainment of others is a is a real treat and privilege. And now I do that for my friends or for the people that I perform for. As a game master, somebody who runs the game, I get to portray a number of characters. I don't rehearse, it just comes off of what I imagine and what I project into my story. But it's no less significant or fulfilling to be able to do that. So there's a bit of stagecraft and thespianism involved in role-playing that I find satisfies that itch, since I haven't been able to be on the stage in quite some time. Also, I think it can be said that role-playing games have scratched another itch of mine, which is the urge to collect. I've never been the child who collected battle caps or stamps. I collect books. I've loved reading ever since I was young. I've been able to collect quite a few books and things, and of course, while they provide excellent reading sources and also fuel for the games, it's kind of nice to look at a nice collection of books, and it's kind of soothing to me to show off my library every now and again. It's not the cheapest hobby, but as far as the collecting side of it. Now, to flip that around, it is the cheapest hobby in many ways. If your hobby is sports and things like that, it's something that you do, that could be one thing. But for a lot of people, what they do to entertain themselves can often be more expensive than role-playing games. If you have a few bad habits, like smoking or going out to the bars every week, that bill can add up quite quickly. With role-playing games, you buy a book, possibly a book for all the people who are participating. That makes things go a little smoother sometimes. But you buy a book, you maybe get some accessories like dice or something like that, and you have everything you need for years of play, hundreds and thousands of hours of gameplay, that you have one expenditure up front, and as long as the people participate, the time is the element that has cost, not any more financial cost. In essence, it could be the cheapest hobby that you could actually get into. And in many cases, it's also a fairly safe hobby. I'm not saying there aren't games that have gone abusive or bad things have happened, but honestly, it's a way that you can safely slip into somebody else's shoes, and if bad stuff happens, it doesn't impact you any more than the story has impacted you inside. If your character dies, it can be tragic. It can really hurt. But you didn't die. Your story continues. So much like reading a good book and letting it impact you, the act of role-playing has a similar effect, except the group builds the story together by the actions of the players and the direction of the game master. So, that's what I love about role-playing games, pretty much in a nutshell. I mean, there's lots of other tangential things that I love about role-playing games, how well it meets my interests and such, but that is, in a nutshell, most of the beneficial things that I've enjoyed and I've personally benefited from. And of course, I will be waxing poetic on elaborating on several of these points as we go forward. So, this is my first offering for the RPGaDay. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you will continue this ride with me as we go through the month of August. Until such times I see you again, farewell.